Welcome back. UK Airlines have been warned to cancel flights they can't sustain this summer to avoid causing travel chaos. The warning comes after tens of thousands of holidaymakers were affected by delays and cancellations last month, which they blamed on staff shortages. Joining us now, the Independent's travel editor, Simon Calder. Simon, lovely to see you this morning. I unfortunately was unable to watch the committee hearings yesterday, as I was asleep, frankly. So tell us what we heard from the airlines. Was there an awful lot of contrition on display by any chance?
Well, there was, depending which airline you talk to. So TUI, the biggest holiday company in the UK, which obviously also has an airline of its own. You will recall the terrible scenes we saw on Sky News at the start of the end of May bank holiday, with all sorts of people finding out quite often on the plane that their holiday had been cancelled. It was, in the words of the boss of TUI, Dave Burling, he said it was unacceptable. We also heard from British Airways that they are cancelling a lot of flights because they don't have enough resources, but they stopped short of confirming that this was due to the 10,000 or so people they let go during the COVID pandemic. And EasyJet said, well, yeah, we are cancelling some flights, but we're doing our best. What's happened overnight is that the Department for Transport here in central London and the Civil Aviation Authority have written to the airlines with a very stern warning. And a lot of people will be saying, well, thank goodness at last, because this could have been sent, this strongly worded letter from the Director General of Aviation here at the DFT and also the Chief Executive of the CAA. It says we cannot have any more of these unacceptable scenes, and you are going to have to help us, quotes, de-risk the summer to make sure that your flying programs are deliverable. Now that.
So we've had. Sorry, Simon. So we've had both. So we've had both the Department for Transport, TUI, and presumably others saying this was unacceptable. I mean, I suppose the question is, was it avoidable? However.
Well, it was, to use that terrible cliche, a perfect storm. Of course, what we have seen is that since the end of the COVID pandemic, the end of the travel restrictions, of course, the Transport Secretary, Grant Shapps himself, said, hooray, we can all go on holiday as we used to, which is terrific, except it's not quite true because the airlines, having been crushed by the travel restrictions and the COVID pandemic, clearly were not in sufficient state to run the schedules they had proposed. Now, some of them are doing absolutely fine. There was a big shout out from a lot of people to Ryanair and Jet2, who've been running everything pretty much according to schedule. The odd delay here or there, occasionally a cancellation. But British Airways and EasyJet are cancelling flights in extraordinary numbers. So BA have cancelled more than 100 short-haul European and domestic flights today, but they cancelled those generally 2 or 3 weeks ago and gave people plenty of warning. EasyJet have cancelled over 40 flights to and from Gatwick Airport today, and they quite often only gave people a few days and maybe in some cases a few hours notice. And this letter, Neil, is aimed squarely at EasyJet, the part which says you've got to have a deliverable schedule. And that means if you have an EasyJet booking this summer, you shouldn't be amazed to get an email saying, oh, you were booked on the 9 o'clock to Malaga on the 7th of August. Well, that's now cancelled, but you can go at 7 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There will be lots of that happening, I understand, over the next few days, possibly the next week. But most people will still be able to get where they need to be. So do not panic and don't take a refund. They have to offer you an alternative flight, either on their own airline, or if they haven't got space on the day, they have to find you a flight with somebody else.
Simon, fantastic advice as always. Mine is simply go and top your tan up this week, just in case you don't get away. That's what I'm doing after I come off air. Simon Calder, lovely to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.